reading through the Bible, I was made to understand that in the beginning, God created one man and one woman. And today we have billions of people in the world, all from Adam and Eve. My question now is, from our understanding of the Bible, sir, talk to me about incest and why was it okay for Adam and his children and generation lived in incest?
First of all, the person that is asking this question about incest, why are you feeling jealous for Abraham and Eve? Why are you envying them, Adam and Eve? Why are you envying Adam and Eve? So you are now comparing yourself to Adam and Eve that didn't have any population around them, and they only had to make do with what they had that time. And you are now comparing yourself. We are in the world now, you have billions of people. And you are now saying, oh, okay, they could marry their sisters, and I cannot marry my own sister now. What is your point? You have billions now. That time there was no human being at all. So why should you be envious of Adam and Eve? Why should that even question cross your mind? Are you in love with your sister or with your daughter? So that's the first thing I would like to say about it. The second thing I would like to say about that is that, first of all, a lot of people say that that is a fad and that the Bible is fake just on the basis of that story. That if Adam and Eve only gave birth to 2 sons, that is what most people know about the account of the Old Testament, the Genesis account. They had 2 sons, Cain and Abel.
Yes.
Okay, one killed the other. So where does the rest of the human race come from? That is the first question that people ask in that regard, and they are challenged by that. And they are saying, how can, if one killed the other, where are the rest of the people coming from? How did we come? There were no other human races.
Right.
Well, there is an answer to that.
Right.
And I would like us to read the Bible.
Okay.
I will get to the question the other guy asking about incest, but
Yeah.
let's start from where it's supposed to start.
Okay.
Let's read the book of Genesis, chapter 5,
Okay.
verse 3 and 4.
Okay, it says, and Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own
So
likeness.
Adam lived 130 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And begat a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth.
So you say after
Cain
Cain
Abel.
and Abel,
Right.
and whatever happened to them, we are now saying that Adam gave birth to another son when he was 130 years old.
Right.
Keep on reading, please.
Okay.
So there is another possibility for an offspring there.
Right.
But it was a boy. So,
Yeah.
so how can 2 boys have
Yeah.
regeneration? Let's keep on reading.
Okay, verse 4 says, and the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters.
Okay, so he lived another 800 years.
Right.
After he had given birth to Seth.
Seth.
So now, at 130, he gave birth to Seth.
Right.
He lived another 800 years, and 800 years, right?
Yes.
And in the 800 years is a long time.
Right.
You know, if you have children, even now at 40,
Right.
in the next 20, 30 years, even 100 years, you already have many opportunities.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the Bible is saying. It lives not just to be another, it didn't just live another 100 years.
Yeah.
So we are going to say, how did they succeed in growing up and all that? They had 800 years. I mean, in 800 years, we could have a whole generation, a whole country giving birth to in 800 years.
Yeah.
800 years, in fact, Nigeria as my country is just 60 years.
Yeah.
That's nothing. And we're already like 200 million people.
Right.
Now, that is because we already have people there. But in 800 years, it's a lot of years. I mean, it's like, that is like more than America is as a whole continent. America is just like less than 300 years.
Yeah.
But we are talking about 800 years here. So we are talking of centuries. So these people were living centuries. So over the centuries, he was giving birth.
Yeah.
So people, so because he had many children, we said he had
He gave birth to sons and daughters.
Sons and daughters, countless. So he gave birth to many. So many of them have grown up to be able to become, over generations, to be able to now multiply. That is how we all came about. Now, somebody is asking, but that should be incest. Because who are they marrying? If it was giving birth to sons and daughters, so even though they were growing up, but they were now marrying each other. Yes, but that was the only way they could multiply at that time. So there is even no question here. But it later, because of the time they were living, they were looking for centuries. This is not just for decades.
Right.
They were looking for living centuries. So the adaptation of the body was, much more better, and it could make it work for them to marry each other. But today, we are only living 100, we are even not living 100 years. We are just living a short time. So when cases of incest happen, it brings about mutilation and some form of deformation in the children, because the blood system is not capitulating properly. And that's why people, it's prohibited in the Bible. And even medically, it's prohibited. Because when people give birth to, they have incest and they have children as a result, because they don't have that gap, that grace of centuries, the blood mixes up and they give birth to deformed children or, disabled children and things like that. So it is now like an abomination to do that. Wow. So it's not a topic that we should be going into.
Wow. That's interesting. I didn't have all these details. By the way, kudos to this person for even thinking out of the box. Wow. That's interesting. So, I think...
Because you just believe the Bible.
Yes.
And that's all. But some people are there trying to criticize and find fault from the Bible and all that.
Interesting.
And some people have been tempted by their relatives.
Sin of incest and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what advice will you give to someone who is in love with, maybe let's say a cousin, a brother or sister? I think I've heard a case of a father and a daughter in love.
Yeah, they should go and see a psychiatrist. They are having a mental disorder cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't think...
Or it might be a spiritual case of spiritual manipulation, demonic oppression.
Wow. And you don't think outside psychological issues there could be genuine love between, like sexual love between father and daughter?
That is crazy. There is just no way it can happen. It is absolute perversion. And it is crazy for anybody to even think in that sense.
Wow.